Welcome to the Black Delegates podcast. Today's date is September the 3rd, 2018. This is episode 30. All right. So, let's see. Intros. We got the same people we always got every week if you've been listening to the podcast. But if you are new, I have Ghetto Phenom.
What's good? Appreciate y'all for tuning in once again.
Good to have you with us. And we got Box Wine Poppy.
What's happening, fellas?
And I am the Black Ryan. How y'all doing? So, first, fellas, I want to start off with a 5-star review. We don't get too many of these, but I checked. I said I was going to check it right before the show, and we got another one. So, shout out to Rufus Cube. I like it. Rufus Cube. If his name is Rufus, that's even better. I like it, though. We got 5 stars. Shout out to 5 stars. It says, Dope Black Pod. Dope show, funny, smart, black, keep them coming. I like it. Simple, to the point, 5 stars. That's what we need, y'all. So if any of our other listeners would like to review us or find us or subscribe, Ishmael, can you tell them where they can find our show at?
Yeah, you can find the Black Delegates podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. We are on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Stitcher, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, and any other podcast app, because most of them feed through that. If you want to hit us up on social media, we are on Twitter and Instagram at Black Delegates. There's an underscore between Black and Delegates. We are also on Facebook at Black Delegates Pod. So make sure you hit us up. You can also email us. Ryan, what's the email address?
I believe it's theblackdelegatespod@gmail.com. If it's not, I'm sure somebody will email you back and be like, you got the wrong podcast.
No, that's correct.
Right. If they say that, then just hit us up and say, hey, that's wrong. But I think that's right. All right. So this week in Blackness, it has been, 8 days? So during that time, Aretha Franklin had her funeral. The funeral lasted quite a bit longer than expected, I think. So where we want to start? Let's. You want to use a randomizer? Do you want to use a randomizer? Or do you just want me to go first?
Do we have a choice on this?
Hey, last time y'all was complaining.
Let's see what happens.
So I wanted to be fair about it.
The randomizer, I gotta say, the randomizer doesn't seem.
All right, I'm gonna press it one time. You ready?
All right.
Here we go. Randomizer.
All
go.
Right.
Ish. I pressed it. Hey, if you want a screenshot, I will send it to you.
It doesn't matter. That's fine. So my week in Blackness was pretty black, of course. I don't have a black person to tie it to.
Name one at the end of your week in Blackness.
Right.
We can assign one after we hear your week in Blackness. We're gonna assign one. We'll do that.
There you go. I'm gonna make y'all work. So, talk about a couple of things. The last one will be Aretha Franklin's funeral. One thing that was super black, I'm not really gonna go into detail about, but was going to the gas station the other day, and I saw this black man dancing on the side of the street with a street sign. You know how they had a sign that tells you, like, keep right? Like, when there's a fork in the road and tells you keep right. This dude had that big old sign, like, in his hand dancing. I thought it was like when tax season comes and they had the people go out there and they dance and trying to get you to go do the tax refunds. I thought it was one of that. And then I looked at the sign and I'm like, what in the world's going on? So, saw that. Also, last night, stopped at the supermarket, checking out this white checker, and I had some adult beverages. Had a little vodka and some wine, and so I didn't know whether he was going to ask for ID, because sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So he kind of held the vodka in his hand, and he waited for me to finish loading my stuff, and so I was like, oh, you need ID? So I was pulling it out, and he's like, oh, no. He's like, you know, for anybody who looks like Common, I think you're good. And I'm like, okay, you know, I've heard people say, people say you resemble Common before, so I'm like, okay. And then he's like, well, you know what? He's like, you look like if Common and LeBron James had a child together, it would be you. And I was just like, what? And I just looked at him like he was crazy. And he just kind of gave like a weird laugh. And I was like, yeah, I said, that's the first time I heard that. And he's like, well, the beard kind of makes you look like Common. I'm like, I heard Common before. I'm like, not Common and LeBron had a love child. And that's me. So that was interesting, folks. And lastly, the Aretha Franklin funeral. So you guys know I work at a black newspaper. And so there's no surprise that we was broadcasting the Aretha Franklin funeral at the gig. And at my job, like in my office.
Right, you got overtime watching this funeral.
There's editorial staff is all kind of in one area. And we got 2 TVs. One has a website. The other is usually on just the news so we can know what's going on. Well, somebody turned it on the Aretha Franklin funeral, and they turned it up so that you could hear it all the way throughout the office. Never mind, there were other people in the office with their TVs on to it, so you couldn't get away from it. It was just blasting, full bore. I think it started at like 10 o'clock Central Time, and it went by 5 o'clock. I was still in the office. A lot of people had left with the holiday coming. So 5 o'clock, I finally muted it. It was still going, but I finally muted it because most of the people were gone. So unfortunately, I had to listen to that all day. And I say unfortunately not because, Aretha's gone. I know people want to pay her respects, but I'm not trying to listen to a funeral at full bore from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Right. And it still went probably a couple hours after that.
What?
So that is as black as it gets to be at work. And everybody got the Aretha Franklin funeral bumping. So, Paul, I know you had some thoughts about the funeral. I know you tuned into it with bated breath. So, what did you think about it?
Man, it was wild. I mean, it's first of all, like as I remind listeners, my wife family owns a black funeral home. So this is kind of a subject that's come up multiple times over the years. Just like. Just how black funerals are. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but just like how long they wait usually till the weekend to get everybody in town. They always have always keep the body out, and because they wanted to have a big celebration. You can't have that on a Monday or Tuesday. It has to be on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So probably Friday, Saturday is best. So it was just wild how long they kept her out. But I guess not to be unexpected. But the funeral, man, it was amazing. But just 9 hours, but. Oh man, it was just so many jokes. Of course, we don't have to talk about get into the Ariana Grande's controversy with the pastor and all that stuff like that. But it was beautiful. But man, just 9 hours, too long for me, man. Could y'all make it through a 9 hour? What's the longest y'all would do for anybody, man? If it was your own family, what's the maximum y'all could do in a funeral? That's what I want to know.
Man, my grandma's funeral was pretty long. She had been.
But not 9 hours.
It was pretty long, but I wouldn't say it 9 hours. But it had to be 3 or 4. To be honest, I'm guessing, and that was where everybody cut to only being able to speak for 2 minutes. That's brothers, sisters, and all of them as ministers. And I think I was a deacon at the time, and I had to talk. I didn't even want to, but some kind of way I had to talk. I figured it's enough people on the roster. I ain't got to say nothing that day. But yeah, I say the longest I've been to maybe 3 or 4 hours.
What about you, Ish?
And that's not counting burial.
I think like 3 hours. Yeah, about 3 hours is probably the longest I've been to, and I think that's about my max. Anything beyond that,
yeah, I'm out.
I'm not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah, anything above 3 hours, I'm with you up to 3 hours. Anything beyond that, I am making a Chick-fil-A run or a Popeyes run, something. I'm not sitting there for not. Man, they gotta have food.
Well, you got food at the repast.
You got something catering something. Regardless. Yeah, but you gotta wait. You gotta wait 9 hours for that, right? It's not during. There's not food during the funeral.
All right.
Man, I ain't waiting no 9 hours, dog. There ain't no way. But anyway, I'm off that, man. It was wild. It was beautiful, but it was also a spectacle. Just a lot of interesting things, but yeah, that was for early this weekend. There's been too much news, so let's move on.
And I do wish Ariana Grande
Right,
would have
yeah.
slapped that pastor for trying to fill her up.
Uncalled for.
That was ridiculous. And he made that stupid dad
Right.
black pastor joke that all the pastors make the corny jokes.
He also made the Bill Clinton was the first black president joke again, like that we've heard like a billion times, and now and it started before Obama, and now we have Obama, and so he's still making that joke. It was like, come on, dog, you just. And he had the Ray Lewis bronzer in his toner in his hair too. So yeah, that dude was out there.
Well, R.I.P. Aretha.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so I'm not going to use the
Who is
randomizer.
next?
I am going to go next this time. Yep.
Ooh, you leave me.
Yeah, maybe I should let Paul go last. But anyway,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure though that just to kind of piggyback off that, Aretha Franklin's funeral. So John McCain, he refused treatment and died. Had his funeral, had a repast. Then they all the flags were half mast. He was laid at states, like the government moved. They almost replaced his Senate seat, and then Aretha Franklin's funeral ended. So like a lot of stuff happened during Aretha Franklin's funeral, and that's crazy.
All right.
And he kind of upstaged her, man, because like if Aretha had died like a week earlier, it would have been all about her for the whole week, and then McCain died, and so it kind of took the news off, except for the day of the funeral, because obviously that was like, a lot
regardless, she was
fun to watch the McCain stuff, but
she still got the headlines. So, but anyway, my week in blackness. Did we give Ishmael a week in blackness? Like, how black was his week, based on what he told you? Did you think of something, Paul?
What do you think, Ryan? You got anything?
Not really. He kind of ruins the vibe when he does that. You got to think of your own, man. He didn't say anything. Last week was easy with the Tiger Woods, so but
it was as black as the love child between LeBron James and Common.
I do that. Okay, I'm fine with it.
LeBron James, common sense.
Right. I'm cool with that. My week, is not black at all. I'm gonna say that my week was Box Wine Poppy. I'm gonna just use you, man. It's one of those weeks where you be like, my week was boring, and I didn't do nothing, and I don't really have nothing to say. That's pretty much how my week went. So that's what he does to us every week.
So I'm the boring dude.
Pretty boring.
I'm the default boring dude.
This is one thing that I did do, and it had me thinking. I got a chance to sit down with the children over this long holiday weekend, and we watched Teen Wolf, the old 80s movie Teen Wolf. So it's been a long time since I've seen Teen Wolf. I remember liking it and watching it many a times, and we were just flipping through, and I was talking to Trenton about it, who is 5, and he thought it was amazing. He's like, he's a werewolf, what? And I was like, you want to watch it? And he's like, yeah. So I sat him down on the carpet, and we watched Teen Wolf. One thing that I did notice is how come becoming a werewolf basically made my man Scott black. All of a sudden he could hoop. All of a sudden he could dance. He's breakdancing because there's no black people in this movie. And that's why he was on the basketball team, because that basketball team was trash. Worst team I've ever seen. And some kind of way, yes. Yes. And then even the state rivals or the city rivals that they played had one black dude and he never got the ball. Never scored. This is how we know this is fiction. This is fiction. You don't have one black dude on the squad and he don't get no jump shots in. He don't get no shots.
Yeah, the best player on the opposing team was the good looking dark haired white guy.
That dude looked like Paul. Get out of here! Like you are not the best player on this team. But yeah, and they showed him hooping, so he was that black dude. And there was another black dude when he was breakdancing in the hallway. That was the only 2 black people in the whole show. But meanwhile, Teen Wolf was actually black. So I just think that's crazy that white people have made up a movie where they get all the powers. They get all the powers of black folks by turning into a werewolf. So that was how my week was.
Yeah, but I'm trying to pull it up now actually. But I remember reading an article about the dude that played the wolf in Teen Wolf during the basketball
Black dude.
scenes, and he was like a basketball. They got like a real basketball dude. I can't remember if he was black or he might have been a white dude, but I mean,
he didn't have that much skill. So if he was
Real.
white, I would understand. But I just thought it was interesting that all of a sudden he could hoop when he became a werewolf.
His name was Jeff Glosser, a basketball player from Loyola Marymount, is what it says. But I remember reading an article about him. He had some moves in the movie or whatever like that. You know, just
he could have been any dude at God Fam Ball. He was not hooping like that. My man was regular as a mug, but all of a sudden he dropped 40 in the championship game just being a white dude. Like, stop it. No,
he had handles though. He had handles.
Teen Wolf,
he didn't have handles?
overrated basketball player. I'm gonna say it. But that was my week in blackness, y'all. So, how about you, Paul? How was your week in brownness?
My week in brownness, I'm gonna keep it short. Yeah, man, school started back up this week, or started up like midweek for the kid, like half days, whatever like that. Before that, we had to go to went to Durham for a quick little trip. Little family trip. So we went to Durham, hung out on the Duke campus, Duke University campus. I'd never been up there, so it was pretty cool. But other than that, man, just school started back up. So, man, that was a big thing, getting the kid off to school. And it was like our first year where the kid, you know, had a summer break. And, man, I see now parents, I'm sure parents, like, all the times my mom was like, I can't wait for y'all to go back to school. Now I understand what she was talking about. Because I was like, man, hurry up and get back to school. Because you are annoying the hell out of me, little boy. But, yeah, we dropped him off, and, you know, I took a couple of days off after that, dropped him off school, no problems, you know. So I had a little free time in the house. And so my week in blackness, I'm gonna go with it was a Wesley Black because the wife and I had a little free time around the house. So I'm not gonna say what happened, anything nefarious happened, but I'm just saying we had a little free time around the house. And we finally had an empty house. That's all I'm saying. West Pike is black, and if y'all don't know who that is, do not Google it. And I'm gonna move on now.
Oh man, that was the best one.
That is hilarious.
All right, we're moving on, dog. Before we get fired, we're getting kicked off this podcast.
Fired on your day off.
Hey Ryan, you know exactly where I'm coming from, dog. You know when you got that, when you see Ish got the house to himself, but you know when you got the kids in the house, and it just limits your mobility, man. Limits your ability to do things. So you got to take advantage when you got to strike while the iron's hot.
Somewhere for these kids.
But yeah, shouts to West Pipes, man. That's the GOAT.
Colin Kaepernick.
Shout out to Botswana Mami.
I didn't say anything happened, man. I'm just saying it might have. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Let me get myself back together. All right.
It wasn't that funny.
Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick had a Nike ad. We do not have a smooth title for this one, fellas. But good to see Colin back on it. Last I heard, actually, I thought he opted out of his Nike contract. So he should have been out of it before all of this situation with him getting blackballed happened. And he has not been back in the league since. But so what's happened where now he's getting a Nike ad?
Yeah, I guess the story came out today. He a commercial came out from Nike, and it features Kaepernick, and I forgot the tagline, but it's basically like, you know, sacrifice, you know, when you might sacrifice everything, you know, something like that. So
it says believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah, and so it basically went viral, of course, like expected. So there's a lot of people that love it, and you know, there's a lot of like support for Nike if you support Kaepernick, and there's a lot of hate out there for Nike and Kaepernick right now as well. If you go out there on Twitter and Google this, but I guess it's part of a large. It's not just a mini commercial. I guess he's been under contract with Nike since 2011, and obviously, you know, since he's not in the league and not, you know, active on a team, you haven't really seen him do much with Nike. But I guess they've kept him on the, you know, kept him honor his contract, and I guess now he might even be getting a renewed contract or something like that. Because apparently, per a tweet I saw from a Yahoo reporter, I guess they're gonna do like an apparel line. I mean, they're gonna do like a whole little campaign around him, and I guess have his own, you know, maybe not like a Michael Jordan or LeBron type thing, but they're gonna, you know, put out some shirts and stuff like that. So it's interesting, man. It's definitely I don't know. I see it two ways, man. Like, in some ways, it feels like Nike might maybe trying to capitalize
with a K,
like, you know, wokeness type. Yeah, that's how I feel. What
exactly
do you guys
what I
think?
was going to say. are they just capitalizing on another revenue stream? So you're going to say, hey, people out here making Kaepernick shirts. Kaepernick's doing pretty good, probably selling his own shirts. I see people wearing his jersey still. And they know that the black dollar is strong. They know that we are willing to definitely, anybody standing for something for us, we're going to represent. So Kaepernick stuff is going to sell out the stores. Yeah. So, I think it's just, that's all it is, just a revenue stream. What you think, Ish?
I don't know about that, because I think Nike knows that it's going to piss some folks off. There are going to be people angry, like Paul alluded to before. There are people who are already like, oh, I'm not buying Nike again, or, talking about they're going to burn their Nikes or this or that. So I don't know how much of a revenue stream it'll be. There will certainly be people that'll buy it just because it's Kaepernick, but there'll be some people who will stop buying Nike stuff because of it. And I will say about that, I mean, you got to be pretty racist if you like, I'm not going to buy anything Nike because they deal with Colin Kaepernick, who has never committed a crime. He ain't killed nobody. All he did was kneel and say, stop shooting black people. So if you're going to stop doing business with Nike because they're doing business with Colin Kaepernick, you might be racist. And by might, I mean you definitely are. But I feel like, Nike, when you look at what they've done with LeBron and just the woke type of advertisements that they've done with him, they've been pretty forward-thinking or pretty progressive when it comes to supporting black folks. So, and maybe it is all about that base because they want to attract the elite black athletes. So I'm sure there's a part of it that is a business ideal, but I just feel like Nike, they gonna do what they do. I feel like they feel like this is an important movement and they want to be a part of it. Now they are business, so they're gonna try to figure out how to make money on it, but I don't feel like I don't think it's cheap that they're doing it. I'm glad to see it. Kaepernick is not getting that NFL check right now. So I think he will get paid.
And definitely shouts to Nike. And definitely shouts to Nike for, hey, whether they're doing it for, purely, monetary reasons or they actually believe in what Kaepernick's, preaching, at least they're making a statement and making a decision and going forward. And they're going to get a lot of blowback. They are getting a lot of blowback for it right now. Maybe it'll pass, maybe it won't. But, they're getting a lot of criticism from, I'm sure, the president, the Twitter, right-wing Twitter, all this stuff like that. So, at least there's, at least they're taking a position and saying, hey, we support this dude, we support the movement. So that's honorable, man. But my thing is, like, these people are on Twitter, like, talking about, like, oh, we're never going to buy Nikes again. Where are you going to go? What are you, unless you're going to get all New Balances. Because, like, Under Armour, Steph Curry is their main dude, and he supports Kaepernick. You got Adidas, and they're big dudes like that support Adidas. They support Kaepernick. They may not have Kaepernick directly, but
Vans,
all these
dudes, they're already the number one selling shoe in the country. So I think there's no pivot. There's no pivot at all.
The Nike Monarch is the number one selling shoe in the country. The Nike Monarch is the number one selling shoe.
What is the Nike Monarch?
That's the old old man yard shoe right there. The Nike Monarch. So I don't know the old folks wearing Vans, but I don't know. The race is gonna have to find a new shoe. I guess it is gonna be New Balances, man. I don't know. I guess that's the only shoe they got for them left if they don't support Nike.
Monarchs. Okay, I see. I had to look them up.
Look. You don't know what the Monarchs are classes, man. But look,
why you know the name of them though? It sounds like you've been you put them in the Amazon shopping cart.
He got a couple pair, man.
No, I used to listen to like a couple like sneaker like podcasts, and so that was like a topic of that was a frequent topic was the Monarch. So man, so I know that name, and I definitely know that look of that shoe. It's at any. You go to any like Dillard's or Macy's, that shoe is definitely there for sale for like $49.99.
Department store joints.
My man went from Wesley Pipes to the Nike Monarch real quick.
Fam, don't. Hey, you can say whatever you want about me. Don't. I say I'm born, whatever. Don't put me in the Nike Monarchs. Don't put me in Nike Monarch. I'll never wear any of those ever. I don't care if I need a yard shoe. I ain't buying those.
You're right. You got them mugs on with your fanny pack. Be walking around the neighborhood, getting on Nextdoor app.
Yo, I just downloaded the Nextdoor app since Paul was talking about it, and it's been pretty chill. Everybody's all right, just like, oh, welcome to the neighborhood type stuff.
Oh, no. Wait till somebody knocks
Somebody said that the dollar store
check out that app.
A mess. I don't know why they went in on the dollar store, but I don't know why they told us. Like, what are we supposed to do? Report the store to the store manager? Like, what are we supposed to do? Fold our arms and get on the phone.
Just when you want all the gossip on your neighbors and whatever's going on with some like little local like no name politician, just go on there, man. It'd be just all types of drama on that thing, man.
Yeah, the Nextdoor, man. Like I just added it this week or last week, and I mean it's just white people wilding out about stuff.
It really,
like you said, and they were going in on the circuit attorney for the city, calling her racist and this one lady's like, yeah, she's supporting, these 5 black politicians, and I don't support politicians because of race, and she's racist black. And I'm like, how do you know she supported them just because of their race? Why can't she support them because of their issues and they're just black? Like, how many white politicians have endorsed other white politicians and you ain't have a problem with it? But when a black candidate or a black elected official tries to big up some other black elected official, oh, it's racist all of a sudden. So they be wilding on
that. Yeah, man. I'll say this: Nextdoor has some good like sales and stuff like that. Because I actually bought like a train table for my kid this weekend off that. It was like a used one, so I got a good deal on that. So I went and picked it up. The lady was nice, but man, some of the discussions on there when I kind of go through it, I don't get on there very often, but when I do, I just kind of scroll through and see what's going on in the neighborhoods. Man, anything about crime, it just leads to a bunch of like, man, just long, and it'll kind of take a tinge for the racist somewhere in there eventually. Right. And there's a few older people on there, and you can tell they must be using, like, they don't have the app, or they don't know how to use the app on their phone, so they like must get on Nextdoor from their computer, which like who does that? But like they put like a big long, like you remember like a couple years ago when there was a big thing about like privacy and Google. And people would start putting in their email threads like this big long disclaimer they had copy and pasted from some stupid, and it would say like this message is confidential, anything intended, and it'd be like a page long dog. So there'd be like this thing about like, oh, there was a robbery at the 7-Eleven like 12 miles away or something, just worlds away from where we live at, and then these people be sitting there talking about like, I won't go there, where's it at, blah blah, and then underneath it just be like the reply be like, don't go over there at night or something like that. And then after that, it'd be like a 2.5 page long thing about this is confidential pursuant to UCP code 57843. It'd be like, dog, what? Old people, come on. But anyway, Nextdoor, good for sales. Everything
black
else,
folks, black folks get on Nextdoor because a lot is going down there. And if the Civil War pops off, that's going to be the first place you find out about it. So get on Nextdoor. But don't put your picture on there.
Right.
Because they're going to come after you.
No, I got my picture on there. Oh, dog, I'm in trouble.
Speaking of the Civil War, let's go to our next topic, weaving through racism. How exactly are they weaving through racism?
Yeah.
This is your story, so give us a little breakdown.
Yeah, well, this is good that this comes after the Kaepernick story a little bit. I'm sure you all remember, all the listeners, about, I don't know how long ago this was, maybe about 3 weeks, where there was an Asian beauty supply owner, June's Beauty Supply in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he got caught on camera punching this black lady in the face. Like, they were having some type of argument. She kind of put her finger in his face, and then he just starts stealing on her, just hitting her in the back of the head, hitting her in the face, yada, yada. Well, the good people of Tulsa, at least some people, it wasn't a lot. The black men got together. They said, look, we're not standing for this. You're not going to be putting your hands on our black women. So they joined up and they protested June's Beauty Supply. They said, we're going to shut it down. You're out here whooping on the black women. We're not standing for it. Well, I don't know if this is June, but one of the owners of the beauty supply, he's living in 2023. I'm gonna just say that. He's a couple years ahead of the game. Like, his marketing skills are impeccable. So what does he decide to do? He sees a bunch of black people standing outside boycotting. He says, you know what? All weave is 50% off.
Genius.
So what do you think happened? Black women lined up down the street. And I think they only let a certain amount in there. They didn't want to get it rowdy. So it looked like people were lining
and
up.
lined up 10 feet from the protesters with their signs. 10 feet.
Right. So you got a bunch of black men on the right, and we'll have the video in the show notes. Have a link in the show notes. You got the men protesting on the right, and you got a line full of women who trying to get that Brazilian silky on the left. So all of a sudden, there started to be a dust up between the women trying to get that weave, trying to get that fresh weave, and the men who were trying to stand out there and say, look, we protesting for you. And one of the women who were in line almost came to blows. Like, she started going in on this dude who was asking her, like, why are you shopping here? These dudes are disrespecting y'all. So y'all saw the video. Yeah. What do y'all think of that? And what do you think about, like, how far does protesting go?
You want to go first, Ryan?
No, go ahead, Paul. Go ahead. I'm gonna close it out.
My thing is, man, my whole thing was like, it was a noble battle from the dudes on this issue. You know, I see what they're coming from, but they're going to have to take the L on this one, man. The women are going to win, man. The women going to win on this one, man, because that's their stuff. And, man, first of all, 50% off, man, you know, look, man, Ryan, Ish, come on now. If you were out there protesting this and these dudes started selling 50% off, don't tell me you wouldn't be in there buying up some bundles and then selling that online to somebody across the country for a 20% markup to get the money. Because, you know, we talking big money in this store, man. Come on, black women can spend hundreds of dollars a week on this stuff. So, like, man, I don't know. There's a protest, and then there's obviously an economic line, and I think you're seeing that play out right here in front of our eyes in this video. And the women are going to win on this one. So you better, I think dudes need to chill on them on this, man. So it's unfortunate, but I think that's how it's going to go, man. With this one, at this particular one.
Right.
I guess I would say never underestimate the power of Remy hair bundles. I mean, if you got the Remy going and it's 50% off, it apparently it doesn't matter what happened before. Like, how far would this go? Ladies, how far are you willing to go with this 50% off? I mean, if R. Kelly has 50% off the Remy, is it okay? Can we start back listening to his music? Like, how does it work? Because, I mean, honestly, it's super safe.
Look, man, I've been off Papa John's for a while, but if Papa John's comes with like a $2 pizza sale, I might have to reconsider, man. I've been on Papa John's for a while.
And I haven't. We talked about this at the barbershop the other day. I guess I could have put that in my Week in Blackness, but I didn't. But, yeah, man, it's like once you reach that point where I think it's so bad that I have to monetarily do something to hurt your pockets, Papa John's or this particular man here owning this store, like, I don't understand why all of us can't agree that, hey, this is what we're gonna do. Now, I understand also that you found out that there's 50% off and y'all all ran to the store. You didn't know nothing about it. Maybe you forgot that it happened. But once you realize that the protesters are there and they like, hey, this is the same dude that they punching black women out at the store, you know, for no apparent reason, then you should be like, oh, dang, like, we don't mess with them either then. Okay, thanks for telling us. Walk. And that's how it should have been, man. But, you know, we can't stand together on anything, and that's kind of the problem. We still can't stand together on the NFL. Nobody's want to get that up. We had that conversation every week at the barbershop. We still don't want to give up Papa John's. As long as this dude is making money off Papa John's, when he's out, then we can start back eating Papa John's. But he ain't out. He's still making money off of it. But, you know, just 50% or not, you still giving that man money.
Yeah, my thought on this, and my wife and I have this conversation from time to time just about boycotts and what's the responsibility or how long does it last. You know, I feel like a boycott is really a personal decision, you know, and I think there was a point in time where I felt like if I felt a real strong conviction about something, you know, I want you guys to be with it too, or I want other people to know. But at the end of the day, if it means that much to me, I'm a boycott. I'm not going to spend my money. But at the same time, if you don't care about it like that, I'm not going to be mad at you. So, like, at that point, when the lady and the man were kind of face to face and they going back and forth, like, if I was that man, I would have been like, listen, this is what happened. This dude's punching black women. He's being disrespectful. We trying to stop it. Like, I'm going to tell my spiel while I'm boycotting, but I'm not going to give me, if your bundles, if that 50% bundle means that much to you, go for it. I at least told you what was going on. But I'm not going to be mad if you don't support my boycott.
Yeah, I agree.
And I feel like today a lot of people are of that mindset where it's like, if I'm boycotting something, everybody got to ride with me. If you ain't with me, you against me.
Man, I do feel though that the boycotts, to me, a boycott is more impactful than a protest. In my point of view, because it's like you can go out there and protest, you just stand there, really, you can walk up and down the street with a sign. Okay, what's happening? If we still gonna do business with them, we still not gonna, do anything besides that. Yeah, we might get some news coverage, but it'll get spun the way they want to spin it, and it'll be over with. But if you're gonna boycott and you hurt their pockets, like that's a long lasting something. When they look back at their quarter sales and they say, "Oh, yeah, we were down in the second quarter or the third quarter because of blank," then you got a tangible reason why. Yeah. Because you punched Shaniqua in the face.
Yeah, I mean, you see that with the Papa John's. I mean, like I'm joking, but I've been off Papa John's ever since it's gone off, and I know you guys probably have been too. But obviously, it's affecting their sales because they got rid of Papa John himself, and their sales have been going down. They're publicly traded, so they've been. If you saw the commercial, the little online commercial they did a week or two ago,
the apology,
it was basically like a minute, basically an apology commercial. Talking about we're going to try to get it right, try to do better. But I mean, they know it's going to be a long term thing to get people's trust back about all this stuff. So
it's the same reason why Starbucks got out in front of it. They know once you hurting their pockets, man, it's serious. And so I feel like that's the one thing that we could do to try to change stuff is if somebody's got a business, shut it down.
But now, how long does a boycott go? Because, a lot of these boycotts now are like social media boycotts. The movement starts on social media. Back in the day, there was an actual group, and they get together, and there's a leadership with it. So now, how long do you boycott certain things? Because I think that's what some people want to know. Like with H&M, when they had the dude with the monkey shirt. So are women still boycotting H&M now? Like, how long does a boycott
we still rocking with
H&M
though?
You go back?
I don't know. I'm not cool enough to know if black people was wearing H&M. I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't wear it, but that's why I said I think it's a personal decision because if you feel like you're over it, like you're okay, you want to go back and buy H&M or you want to go back, like go ahead and do it. You don't need any.
I would say, for the most part, they have to last until you see some an actual change, like a tangible change. So as far as the NFL goes, originally I was like, well, all right, well, I'm out on the NFL until Kaepernick gets a job, but he's not going to get a job. But there are other players in the same situation too. So as long as all of those players who have kneeled for the national anthem don't have a job, like I'm out. So once Cap gets he's going to probably win his lawsuit. So that'll be one domino down. I'm fine with that too. But until then, I mean, I'm totally out. As long as these owners are still out here talking crazy, as long as those guys don't have jobs. I mean, maybe I never watch it again, or it'll just have to be new ownerships coming in for certain teams or whatever, or maybe Roger Goodell when he's out of there. But yeah, something like that.
Yeah, if they hire Barack as a commissioner, I'm back. I'm all in.
What if Condoleezza Rice take the spot?
Even if they get Condoleezza. Yeah, even Condoleezza. No, I think I'm in. Yeah, I think I'm in with Condi.
She don't do nothing.
I don't like her politics, but I think I'm in.
Anyway, man, these women were standing outside that store waiting for that 50% off sale. Just like I'll be when I be on Beale Street, and that dude with like the God hates sin or something like that. So, big old sign and talking on the microphone. And I'll be holding a drink. That's that's how they were looking. Like, okay, we hear you protesting over there, but I'm gonna go here and get this drink on and get this sale and stay out of my way, old man. So
I wish I would see them out there. I definitely would be taking selfies next to them.
To the women?
With the people who out there like drinking is a sin, you're gonna go to hell. Like I would be out there with a 40-ounce next to them, like cheese.
Yeah, but I would not be out there doing that selfies with these women in this line because they might beat my. Don't mess with a woman in her sales, man.
Right. All right, I think we can go on.
All right, now we got the anti-bait truck. Phenom, this yours too, man. So just I guess a little bit of a intro to it. So as you all know, sometimes in the more poverty-stricken areas or crime-stricken areas in the country, the police set up stings where they sit out these trucks. And they may stack them with merchandise, like things that people are most likely to steal, clothes, shoes, things like that. And they'll set it up, and they do these kind of stings for cars. I know you've probably seen a reality show, or I guess it's reality, called Bait Car, where they would set it up in, let's say somewhere on the East Coast, and they'd put a car out there, a nice car, have somebody get out of it, leave the keys in, and they would have cameras and stuff in there. And as soon as the kids come out and steal the car, they would lock the doors, and that would be the bait, and, they get them in there that way. So in this particular situation, they have what's called a bait truck. So they're setting up bait trucks where people have all these shoes and things in the back, and they invite the neighborhood to come out and steal it and catch 10 to 20 in a state prison of their choice. So Ishmael, this story is yours. Right. So go ahead.
Did we talk about the bait truck in Chicago on the show?
I don't think so.
I don't think we did. And the crazy thing about that, so this was, I don't know, a couple weeks, maybe a month ago, where there was a bait truck, like Ryan said, set up with sneakers, was just parked on the side of the road in the hood in Chicago, and the police were kind of waiting to see who came to get some shoes so they could lock them up. Well, the interesting thing about that is that actually wasn't even set up by the police. That was set up by the trucking company.
What?
The trucking company was like, I guess people were stealing off of their trucks or whatever. So they set up this bait operation, and then they called the police and they were like, yo, we parked this truck on the side of the road. We waiting to see who comes steal it. So that was actually set up by that trucking company, which they ended up catching a lot of heat. They apologized, of course, said they're not going to do that anymore. But it was just crazy that a trucking company would set up this elaborate bait truck.
That's wild. I did not know Chicago. That is crazy.
Yeah. So basically, after that happened, there was a bunch of uproar because people like, look, you sitting up here putting Jordans on this truck, parking it in the poorest part of town.
What happened to entrapment? Does it not exist?
So, man, and
I don't see how black folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but what happened is Vic Mensa, who's a rapper, he has a foundation called Save Money, Save Life Foundation, and also, Sean King, the activist I've talked about on the show before. We don't have to talk about him more on the show, but they kind of combined together. I think Vic Mensa, it was his group, but Sean King helped publicize it, and they basically raised money. They asked people online on social media, donate some money. We're going to fill up a truck full of shoes, take it to this same neighborhood in Chicago, and we're going to give it, just give shoes out to people who need it. So kids going back to school, parents who can't afford to buy their kids shoes, whatever. So I don't know how many pairs of shoes they have, something like 50,000 pairs of shoes or 10,000, something
awful
like that.
Awful lot of Nike
ridiculous.
Monarchs out there.
I guarantee all the Monarchs are still on the truck. We ain't taking them.
Hey, look, man. If you went out there with a whole truck full of Nike Monarchs, I guarantee dudes would still rock those, and they find a way to jig you up.
Don't disrespect the culture, man. We would never take a free pair of Monarchs from anybody.
I don't know, man. I think if you that down on your luck, then you would do it. But it looked like they had some nice shoes. I'm looking at this picture. Dude got some Curry 5s. I think they had some.
I want to say there was somebody was giving away some Yeezys. I wasn't sure it was this one or there was some other shoe giveaway I saw recently, and they were giving away Yeezys and stuff like that. So, man, yeah, man. But man, it's good, man. This is a good positive thing for the community.
Right.
So.
Yeah, way to turn a lemon into lemonade, as they say. So they had Puma, Adidas, Nike, Converse, Under Armour, just everything, and they had the people come out and show them a lot of love. So big up to anybody who donated to that, and big up to the people who organized that, because, they were trying to lock people up.
Yeah, and it looked like
people who needed shoes, and now.
And it's important to know, like, also at least the article you sent around, they got like cops out there kind of like, hanging out, just kind of, so, Vic Mensa, his organization, whatever, they brung some sheriffs out there or something like that, just kind of like have the, just, hey, this is, try to at least build some somewhat better relations, at least in this community. I don't know if there was actually a shoe bait truck, a real bait truck in this neighborhood, but I think that's also something worth calling out. Hey, they invited the sheriffs out there and said, hey, interact with this kid. There's like one picture here with the fist bumping the little kid or whatever like that. So it's like, trying to put a good spin and maybe help this community out and improve relations somewhat in that community. I like that, man. That's good.
Hopefully,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
And it's crazy because go ahead. No, I was gonna say you never see them put bait trucks in white neighborhoods. They always put it in the poor neighborhoods.
But look, if they did, man, I guarantee, man, come on, man. There's nothing but teenagers in my neighborhood, and you put like a truck with some hoverboards or some cool shoes. Crime is just about opportunity, man. If there's opportunity for people to take things or do something, if it's laid out bare and somebody thinks they're not gonna get caught, it's gonna happen, man. So you leave a bunch of iPhone 10 or 11s out here in this neighborhood where I live at, man. It's gonna get taken if they think they can get away with it. If it's just sitting out there, man. So
take some opioids over there. Just a truck full of opioids. Just leave it open. Lock them.
Just put like some K2 or anything like that, man. They'll take all that mess, man. Come on.
Yeah. Man, so I was gonna say now that this has been done, y'all need to chill. You still need to chill. Don't be out here still trying to steal shoes, man. Like, you got some free shoes, be cool. Be cool, because that don't mean the real bait trucks ain't gonna go away. They still gonna probably be out there somewhat. They still gonna have bait cars or whatever they got to do. They still gonna try to bait you into it. So hopefully everybody got what they need and going into the school year, and we can be cool and get our priorities straight out here.
Man, let them have like a bait Tostino's pizza truck. I'll be in there stealing myself. and I got money. Let me see. I'll still be in there. Oh man, I'll be up all on the party pizzas real quick. Some Huggies. If I see some diapers out there, a diaper truck. Oh man, I'm definitely robbing that thing.
So, but I guess if you happen to get caught by a bait truck in the state of California, don't worry. Because the state of California has eliminated cash bail in a sweeping reform. This happened last week. Y'all know we've talked about this before, where a big issue that I have with the criminal justice system is the system of cash bails and how much money we need to post for our bail if anything were to happen, where most of us cannot afford it. Some of us have, we have multiple air conditioning units like Paul for our houses, where the bedroom is cooled off by a separate unit from the upstairs, and the basement has a separate unit. This dude earlier, I wish it was recorded, but he told me, he said, "Why are you turning off the air unit in the house? Why don't you just turn off just the one? You only have one?" And yeah, so he made me feel pretty broke at the time, right. But I'm trying to recover from that. But
Paul be like, "Siri, close the bedroom vents."
Right. I don't have none of that. And wait till one of these units goes down. Then you won't be feeling so broke when I have to pay for one unit to get fixed. Just one.
You'd be like,
there's a downside to all this.
The only time black people have more than one
window unit
is when you got the window unit. So when you got the window joint in the bedroom and one in the family room, and then all the other rooms just SOL.
Hey, house I grew up in. Finished high school in, man. We only had one wall window unit, and on the top floor, and it was in my mom's bathroom, and I was on the opposite end of the hall from that. So I had no AC in my house, man. It sucked. I can't do that.
You had AC in your house. It was a window unit. That's what black people is.
But it was 50 feet away from my bedroom, so I didn't do nothing. Anyway, come on now. Let's go. Let's keep going.
You got ceiling fans.
The one I had in my bedroom when I was little was or in high school or college really too. Before I moved out, I had one with a remote on there, so I thought I was balling. I put that mug in myself. I had the $100 joint, not that $49.99 on sale. I had it set to a certain temperature. It would turn on and off as the temperature changed. It was 120 degrees in the hallway, but it was a cool 69 in my bedroom with the door closed.
Why'd you come up 69? What
69
come from?
right?
Let's talk about that, West Pipes.
Dude, oh man, I can't have nothing in here with you, man. I gotta say it different.
All right, man. Let's get back to the bail issue. Let's get back to the bail issue. Come on.
Right.
So effective October the 1st, 2019, the governor, Jerry Brown, has signed into a statement that they will reform the bail system so that rich and poor people are treated fairly. Basically, you won't have to have cash bails. They'll have a committee where they will take a look at your case and say whether or not you're deserving of having a bail or that you need one if you're a flight risk or something like that. But other than that, they said they were going to just push people through, and you got to come back to the courthouse for your trial and all that. Yeah. So that cuts out jail time and everything. What y'all think?
So, Paul, what do you think about that?
Oh, you want me? I mean, like,
yeah, you go.
Personally, I'm probably gonna have the opposite take. I feel like I'm gonna have the opposite take from you guys, but let me see what happens here. But like me personally, I'm in favor of this. I think this is a good idea, man, because I don't like cash bail. I mean, you're talking about, okay, let's say it's $50,000. You got to come up with 10% of that usually for bail. So that's $5,000, man. The people that don't have $5,000 in cash or that can come up with $5,000 quickly is a lot. A lot of people, especially when you talk about the kind of crime that affects black and brown neighborhoods. So me personally, I'm in favor of this. The downside I see, and I'm sure that's what you guys are going to come out to, is like these committees. They're going to be local committees. If you're in a black or brown neighborhood, you commit a crime, you're probably gonna be okay. If you're not, if you're whatever crime you're accused of does not fit the description of needing to be held without bond. But if you're like a black or brown person that commits a crime in a all white neighborhood where that commission is all white people, you might be in some trouble.
Yeah,
that's the problem. Yeah. That's the part where I see the issue is going to come into. So so I think, overall, I agree with what they're trying to do, but I think at the end of the day, you're going to still have potential for issues because, especially where it's a person that's in the distinct minority in that community and having to go before that commission, and then you might have some issues. I mean, some of the weed, something like that in California, they're not going to care if you're black and you're in
weed's legal.
Yeah, but if over a certain amount you can't have, though I believe several grams, whatever like that. But if you're doing that like in where the Kardashians live, you're probably not gonna have a problem. But if you do something a little bit more, armed robbery, then you could have an issue. So I see it both ways, but overall, I'm in favor of this right now. What about you guys?
I think the idea is sound. We definitely need to get out of this cash bail system, and what they're talking about is it'll be based on the risk of the person. If it's a violent crime or if you're at risk of leaving, you're not going to get bail. If not, then you'll get it. But I do agree with you that it's probably not going to be fair, or there's at least an opportunity for it not to be fair to minorities or people who are not as fortunate financially. I think the ACLU in California actually pulled its support because there was really no guarantee in the law that they would be fair, that it wouldn't be biased based on class or race or anything like that. But I think the idea is sound, and I agree with everything you said about it just not being fair that you have to try to raise 10%, and sometimes the bail bondsmen in the area, they won't even do it anyway because they can just determine, you're too much of a risk. I'm not even going to take your 10%. So now you got to pay the whole 50, 100,000, whatever the bail is set.
Yeah.
And I do think, Ryan and I are in St. Louis, and we just elected a new county prosecutor, Wesley Bell. We didn't really talk about that. That actually was a national story. But part of his platform is to eliminate the cash bail system. Mm-hmm. So I think this is something that's actually going to start going throughout the country. It's not going to go everywhere because real conservative places aren't going to be trying to hear that. But if you get progressive mayors or executives in place, you can start to get laws like this. And this is really the first step at prison reform, because if you can give everybody a fair shake while they're waiting for trial, then you can start to make moves in other areas.
And clearly, I mean, this means that they're not going to let murderers out of jail and you don't have to post a bail. It's not going to be like that.
It depends.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
Depends.
It said nonviolent.
Because remember that white lady just killed like 4 kids and got probation.
Well, that's different. Probation. That was she on?
That was a trial, though.
That
was a trial.
Bail? Yeah, that was a trial.
But when stuff like that happens, you still got opportunity.
That's because she probably had assets.
So unfortunately, it's never. Our system is never flawless. The problem is we always got human error and racist error. Yeah. I guess it's something.
It sounds like a good idea. I just need to see more like what is going to be the standard, and is there going to be opportunities for like different locales to make their own, like, okay, we deem panhandling to be held without, if they're doing stupid stuff like that, then I'm out on this. But if it's all like, hey, these are above this type of crime, then this is what we consider reasonable, and that's like universal across the state. But if you got this thing where it's like hodgepodge and like one community is doing it like, oh, this and that, we're gonna lock you up, and over here, then that just opens up where there's potential for bias to be in this. And so if there's a unique, I mean, we can all agree murder, armed robbery, things like violent things like that. So I just need to see more about that and make sure that those standards don't get loosened over time. Because that's what happens. These things, they'll start off real stringent, violent crimes. Then 10 years from now, it'll be some community like, well, if you're doing this or you drunk driving or something, it's just something stupid. Then it just kind of eventually.
Well, it's not a blanket. It's not a blanket. Violent crimes. I mean, they're going to look at each individual case by case basis. So that's good. I mean, I guess the other thing would be that any area or state where this would go into effect, they would be able to elect their own officials for this board or this committee. So most likely that would mean that those people are open to that, and they probably wouldn't put crazy people on there. Or otherwise, that wouldn't even be an option. Like it wouldn't be everybody would have a bail set.
But the real talk, the crazy part about this is like that we ain't even talking about is like, man, what happens to the bail bond industry? I mean, you go downtown anywhere near a courthouse in a major city, you're going to see a bunch of bail bonds, and a lot of those are in small neighborhoods. I mean, and a lot of them are minority-owned businesses, and basically for that whole state of California, you just put that entire industry out of business. Man, that's
well, not out of business. Probably cut back some of their business.
How you got
still people out there doing crazy stuff that's going to need a bail. So it's not totally gone.
But if they don't have bail, they don't have a cash bail system in the state no more. So what do you?
No, it's not. It's not totally eliminated. It's still case by case. So some they wouldn't require. So there would still be like murder.
I thought it was totally.
It's not all of them. It's just whether or not they have a committee to say whether or not you need bail.
Oh, but you're getting ready a 60%.
Yeah, it's gonna be a large percentage.
It's gonna close down a lot of businesses. That's gonna close down a lot of businesses, man.
I don't know any people in the bail industry, but I'm kind of just like whatever.
I had a boy in college, and his uncle was a bail bondsman in Memphis, and I don't know like how the finances or things like that, but I just think about a dude like I knew a dude that their business is bail bonds, and if you got rid of it, I'm sure that would impact their business some degree, and that was a minority owned business, so there's pros and cons to this, I guess.
But think about it though, if you're a bail bondsman, that means that I got $50,000, $100,000 cash.
Right.
For several people to come up and do that. So if let's just say I got $100,000 just in the bank and I just operate off of that. Well, now I can go and spend $100,000 and invest in some type of new business. So I'm not really tripping. If you are profiting
off the backs
of
off the backs of
black and brown people going to jail, I don't really have sympathy for you. Just put that money into something else, invest it, drive some Ubers, do whatever. You got that money where you can go and do something different.
Exactly. Because all it was at some point it was just rich people handing out money because they had it. So whatever, I'm good. I don't care about your industry, bail bondsman. So we just lost all our bail bondsmen.
Right, boycott the bail bonds industry right here.
Yep.
Peace.
Box on Poppy still rocks with you, bail bondsman. Send any cash you want, and hey, if I need you guys one day, definitely look me up. Hopefully, I never have to use you, but I may have to look you up.
All right, last topic.
Last topic, you want me to do it? All right, man. So this story went viral the other day, man. The dude, if you remember the Cosby Show, there was a character that came on midway. I forget whose husband he was. Was it Denise? Yeah. I can't remember. But his name was Elvin from the Cosby Show. He was an actor, you know, the show.
Like Vanessa.
Oh, Vanessa. Maybe Vanessa's husband. Yeah. So Vanessa's husband, Elvin from the Cosby Show. Yeah. So Ryan, you sound real far away right now too, man. So yeah, he was on the Cosby Show back in the day, and you know, he's a working actor and things like that. But apparently, he went viral this weekend because some lady went to Trader Joe's in Connecticut, and I guess my man Elvin, his name is Jeffrey, I forget his last name, but got filmed working at Trader Joe's, an auto profession in Connecticut, just working a regular job, and I guess Fox News picked it up and kind of just called the dude out and made fun of him. You know, like, hey, there's this dude from the show everybody used to watch back in the day. Now he's just working a regular job. Like, you know, what's up with that? And it was like, that's basically the topic, but it created a big, online controversy. You know, people like, you know, why are you messing with this dude? You know, he's just a regular dude and, you know, just trying to make, you know, feed his family and things like that. And so what are y'all thoughts on this, man?
I mean, I don't feel strongly about either way. I mean, that's what people do. If you see somebody who used to be in a high-profile position like that, even as a cast member on The Cosby Show, and you see him working at Trader Joe's, people are interested. So I know why it went viral. I mean, for me, hey, that man got to work. The Cosby Show was, 30 years ago? Something like that. So that's a long time. So if he needs to work that job to have him some benefits or have, you know, whatever, more power to him. But, you know, I get why people had interest in it, you know. But the interesting thing to me is the fact of this counter group that's come out to really stick up for him. It's like, you're shaming him for working and he's just being a man. Like, I didn't see that coming because I can always see the internet jokes, just roasting people. Yeah, just the joke side. But it is good to see people coming out and sticking up for him and saying, hey, leave this man alone. He working. He doing his business. Like, ain't no shame in that. So more power to him.
But from what I saw, the initial story from this was from Fox News. And I think that's why we got everybody sticking up for him. Because it was really just it's us against Fox News now. Now, we know that any black organization had got this information. They would have gone in on him anyway. It would have been on Charlemagne. Oh, man, it would have been on every other show that we listened to. Joe Budden would have made fun of it. Whoever we was listening to was going to make fun of it. So let's not all act like we were so holy. And all of a sudden, when Fox News saying we got to come into his rescue, man. Come on. Y'all was going to make fun of him, but that's okay. I mean, he was only on a few episodes. Y'all need to relax. This brother was barely on the show. When little Raven Simone started being on the show, he wasn't on there at all after that. All of a sudden, she was spending the night all the time. Man. And they wasn't even coming over. They was out of town. They was out of the country.
He was on there for a while.
He was on, man, you're wrong. He was on there a while.
They was living upstairs and he wasn't on there.
He was Sandra's husband, not Vanessa. Sandra.
But I hated his character. I despised his character every time he was on there. I thought he was spineless on the show. I mean, the character. I never liked it. Y'all can't tell me y'all liked him as a character, but he was annoying on the show. But I mean, I'm definitely rallying behind this dude because I got a situation with me where I'm gonna be working the rest of my life. Like I'm never gonna stop working ever to the day I die. I'll be working, even though I got money. I'm gonna be working, trying to save up for things. And so, like, I know this is going to be me, man. You're going to see me come when I'm 85 years old in Home Depot. You can come up there and ask me about an AC unit, stuff like that. I'm going to be working there. I don't want nobody taking no picture of me cracking jokes on me about me working at Home Depot when I'm 85 years old because I'm definitely going to be doing it. So I feel some kind of way about this dude, man. Just let that man live, man. He's trying to take care of his family, and there ain't nothing wrong with working at Trader Joe's, man. Trader Joe's got some good sales.
Has anybody looked into the fact that my man looked exactly like Key and Peele? Are they related? Is this his long lost father? Does anybody know who Key and Peele's dad is? Because dude look exactly like him.
First of all, you just talking.
I don't care. I call him Key and Peele. I don't break them up. They're a team.
But yeah, man, can Peele write a movie? You know, like Get Out too, where he's like, you know, like the older version of Peele.
He could.
He
could. That would be great.
Yeah, man, he could.
You just found my man a job. He no longer has to work at Trader Joe's. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for your service.
Well, apparently he's still reading through the stuff. Apparently he's still working as an actor. He's just like it's off Broadway, local stuff.
He's
man, it's hard, man. Just acting is a tough profession with not a lot of benefits, man. So I don't blame this man working at Trader Joe's.
Need Edwin to be real with himself and say he's no longer an actor because you're working at Trader Joe's, so you're not acting.
But go back to what you were talking about, man. Real talk. People kind of flame this because it was Fox News kind of making fun of this dude. But man, rest assured, if this was like Boss Up, Media Takeout, TMZ, they would have ran with. If they got this video, they would have all put this on there. Hey, you remember this dude? Because that's 1/10 of all those sites' content is like, hey, you remember this person from way back when? Now they're doing this. Now they're doing bad. Now they're on drugs.
LL Cool J being a crackhead now. Y'all was on that, but all of a sudden we holy now because Fox News.
That's the saddest thing in the world, man. That girl went from the prom queen to the prom fiend, man. Whew.
And Brian, you said earlier, black people can't never get together on nothing. Well, apparently we get together on stopping Fox News.
That's a fact. That's the one thing we all can get together on. Nobody likes Fox News.
That's what I'm going to just start doing. Everybody got the fake news now and everybody posting hoaxes. I'm going to just start anything that I'm against. I'm going to just put a meme with Fox News said and then all the black people.
Dude, we can change the world that way.
Change the world.
All right. So, just so y'all can know, us here at the Cheap Delegates, we had planned on doing reviews of movies and or TV shows occasionally. Notice that we have done none, and that's because one or two of the delegates can never actually watch a movie when we're supposed to, or purchase said cable channel so that they can watch things like this. So some of us don't want to get cable. Some of us are too cheap to buy a full subscription of Showtime and or HBO. Whatever it is, whatever the reason, it's a Cheap Delegate's fault, and I just want to bring that to y'all attention. But we are trying to get this content to you. We plan on reviewing Insecure at some point in time. It'll be week 5 next week, so hopefully next week we can at least bring you some type of a recap. But until then, I'm blaming these other two brothers.
Oh, please.
That ain't what the Cheap Delegates is. In a future episode, we're going to have a cheap off because all of us are cheap in certain areas. So we're going to have to see who is the cheapest black delegate around. So stay tuned for that. And if y'all are cheap, go ahead and put your stories together, get them ready. Tell us how cheap you are. Send us an email because we're going to have that coming up pretty soon.
This is going to be just like the Mexico basketball stories that we keep talking about. And never actually hearing about.
Paul has been asking for 30 episodes. Can we get some Mexican basketball league stories? And we've got nothing.
Man, I'm had to go down there. I'm just going to do like a documentary. Just go, like searching. You ever seen that documentary, Searching for Sugar Man? I'm gonna go down there searching for Ishmael. Just go down to Mexico, go down in the rainforest and just ask, like, did you see this dude dunk on somebody, on some 5'2" Mexican dudes back in 1998?
You had to do like that. Have y'all seen the Iron Mike documentary?
No, I hadn't seen that one. What's that about?
Oh man, Iron Mike was almost like the first black viral video with the little rap battle and Eli Porter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they did a documentary. Some dudes on YouTube went back and talked to the dudes. This was probably 3 or 4 years ago, and they straight
made a documentary of that.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Check it out.
Oh my god,
it's crazy.
Interesting.
Can't get any crazier than when he was on Tosh.0.
Yeah, right. That was before that. I think that documentary ended up kind of propelling him on Tosh.0.
Yeah, I don't like making fun of that man like that, But hey, if you get some money out of that documentary, more power to him.
All right. So that seems to have brought us to the end of our episode 30, y'all. We're closing it out.
The end.
So with that being said, let's run it back for all those who may or may not have stayed to the end. Hopefully y'all stay to the end of each episode because you never know what we're going to say or what Paul's going to say. So where can they find us, Ishmael, if they want to share the podcast?
You can find the Black Delegates podcast. We are on Twitter and Instagram. Really, Instagram is where we're popping at Black Delegates. There's an underscore between Black and Delegates. We are also on Facebook at Black Delegates Pod. If you want to follow Ryan on Twitter, he's at the Black Ryan. Paul is at Box Wine Poppy. And I am on Twitter and Instagram at ishcreates. That's ISH Creates. Paul, if people want to help out the show, if they want to give us a little boost, what can they do?
First of all, you can rate and review us on whatever podcast app you're using to listen to this. And also tell a friend. But, man, bump all that. What I really want to say is, hey, man, it's only 60 days till the next midterm elections. Get out and vote, man. We're going to talk about this more in upcoming episodes. But, man, hey, if you made it to the end of this episode, we got about 60, 75 days to the next big election. Get ready. Take your days off. Figure out what you need to do. Get your transportation lined up. I don't care where it's at. If they close down your polling station and you got to go 20 miles, man, get in contact with your local offices. There's gonna definitely be people that'll take you to the polling place if you need to vote. So don't let that be an excuse and just prepare accordingly, man.
Please stop saying that it doesn't matter. I'm so tired of hearing smart people that I know saying it doesn't matter and this and that. But if a million people say it doesn't matter, then yeah, it does matter.
Yeah, man. We don't have to get back into it, but man, that, like the Kaepernick thing, like man, I was all for Kaepernick, but man, when he talked about not voting in the
let
last
you down,
election,
did
man,
it?
he
let
totally
me
lost
down
on that. Man, let me down big time. I mean, I still support the dude, and he's been quiet and stuff like that, but man, you got to vote. You got to vote. That's the only way you can make things change. Maybe some Russian hackers going to change your vote no matter what, man. I don't know, but you got to do. You got to do it anyway, man. You got to do it. You got to do any man. When people get out and vote, you can make changes. Because if black people had voted, brown people had voted in this last election, it'd be a lot different outcome than what it is right now.
Yep, facts. Especially in Florida. Hey, I'm gonna take my personal boycott off of Florida if the black man wins the governor.
Oh man, that's when
Come on now, Ishmael. Let's stop monkeying around. You know a black guy's not gonna win it.
Look, Ish gonna fly down there, get to Orlando. I think he's gonna go to Disney World. It's gonna be a whole new day with Andrew Gillum as the governor, and he can step off the air, get out in the parking lot, get a rental car, and get shot right there.
Stop monkeying around.
Hey, this is all right. As long as they got a black governor, I'm down for it.
All right. We'll see what happens. I'm wishing that dude the best. He's going to have to get a lot of brown people to vote for him out there, man. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Do it. All right. So that's it. Thank y'all for listening.
All right.
We appreciate it. We running long, so we got anything you want to add? Okay.
Nope.
All right. Adios.
Happy Labor Day.